You know, for over 11 years, Little Diva's balloon decorating has turned events into experiences, and celebrations have been turned into parties. Let Little Divas worry about making your event the best that it can be while you relax and enjoy it. Any event you can imagine: birthdays, anniversaries, weddings, family reunions, graduations, celebrations of life. Any event that you can possibly imagine, Little Divas can bring it to life. They specialize in balloon sculptures, cake table archways, and doorway arches. Get a hold of Little Divas right now and make your celebration reunion, or business function, one that people will never forget. Call 606-791-5616. That's 606-791-5616. Or visit them on Facebook.com/Little Diva Party Decorations and see for yourself. Of course, delivery is always available for a slight additional charge. Little Divas, it's where memories begin.
The following is a production of Sloan Studios. You know the podcast. Now it's time for the Mountain Mysteries Gatherings, a unique look inside the world of the Mountain Mysteries. This is where you learn a little more about the Mountain Mysteries episodes and come together to talk. It can be intense, it can be goofy, but it's always fun and mostly always interesting, even if you're rewatching Chris make a fool out of himself. Viewer discretion is always advised.
It's all about love and connection. You know who that sounds like?
Yeah, I do.
It's kind of a little bit shocking.
And I could see a figure, an outline, and it stood right there at my door and wouldn't come through.
Hey, this is Stacia Underwood Gullett.
I'm Josh Preston.
This is Amanda Collins.
I'm Dave Newsom, and I'm listening to these Mountain Mysteries.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I will be the last to fall. I won't shed a tear for them to see. I won't have your name to call, 'cause I will be the last to fall.
With over 24% of the 1.9 billion square acres in America alone, the mountains that so many people call home are also host to some of the most incredible mysteries in the world. The missing, the murdered, strange creatures, unexplained lights, and sightings of unidentified objects. These stories may be strange, they may be sad, they may be odd, but they are mysterious. These are the Mountain Mysteries Gatherings. And now, live from the Pantry Studio, broadcast to all time zones around the world, with listeners of the podcast in the United States, Canada, Germany, Norway, India, the United Kingdom, and more. These are the Mountain Mysteries Gatherings. Now, your host, Chris Sloan.
The shirt's a little different, isn't it? But that's okay. Good evening, and thanks for joining us for the Mountain Mysteries Gatherings, an inside look at the podcast of the Mountain Mysteries itself. Before I get started with this, we've got a lot going on tonight, and it's going to be awesome. Stacia Underwood Gullett is standing by to go on with us live, and tonight, of course, we're going to talk about several things, including episode number 54, Afterlife. What happens next? We're also going to talk about the benefits, of course, of being a Patreon, which I'll get into here in a few moments and ask you kindly for your support with that. And we are going to talk about so much more, including a session, or rather an episode that is going into production tomorrow, that if it doesn't make you sick, it'll break your heart. But first, a couple of days ago, I had an event. I had a birthday. And I just wanted to thank everybody publicly on here for all of the birthday wishes I got. It was crazy. I mean, it started that morning and it just went on and on and on all throughout the day and even into the next day. And it made me feel blessed. But I'm a blessed guy. And I know it. I'm very lucky. Far more blessed than I deserve. But God's grace isn't about deserve. It's about love. I do believe that. Being a Patreon is easier now than ever. We've got 3 tiers, a $3, a $5, and a $10 tier. $10 tier is known as the VIP tier. And we've got some VIP members that are watching. And, of course, they can tell you that they get early access Yes, they do that. All tiers do that on Patreon, but they also get something that nobody else gets. At that $10 tier, they get a couple of videos that are directed specifically at them each month that tells them what's coming up with the Mountain Mysteries, a few special messages, and as anyone can tell you, it always goes, the AMAs, the Ask Me Anything. Anything that you want to know about the podcast or the episodes coming up, I'm going to do something and let you know about that, or at least give you some really good hints. Now, our VIP tier members do get those videos, and they get a behind the scenes look at some of the things going on. And coming soon, they're also going to get the flubs. Yeah, what is it they call the bloopers, minus some of the colorful metaphors and language that I may use while doing it. For the love of God, will somebody quit holding the microphone so close to me? And it's me holding the microphone so close to me. Yes, they will get that too. But you can find the link to our Patreon on our website, which is www.themountainmysteriespodcast.com. Click the little link. It's right at the top of the page. It's like the second over from the left, I think it is. And any support, or even if you're on Spotify, you can do a one-time gift, a donation. Anything helps us set off the cost of the video platforms. And when we do go out to talk with people about their family members and interview them. But the most important thing, and I've always said this, is that you share the Mountain Mysteries podcast. I ran across a certain individual this morning, and I just love them to pieces already. But sometimes what we do isn't so much as, it's not as much about bringing the stories to people. It is very much about that. But if we can go a step further and give somebody hope, we're going to do that. That's all I'm going to say about that. But you can always reach out to us. The email address is themountainmysteries@gmail.com. Message us on Facebook, whatever. And if it's a suggestion about doing an episode, we'd love to hear that. Or if you just have questions, or maybe you're going through something that you don't understand. And I'm just going to say this outright, as plain can get, because my dad told me when I was 10 or 11 years old, plain English is easily understood. If you feel like you're being haunted, reach out to us. I am not a paranormal investigator, but one of my best friends in the world is, and she's a damn good one. I'd put her up against Jason Hawes, Ron Buell. I'd put her up against anybody. She is that good. The biggest difference is the aforementioned has had TV shows all over the world. Everybody knows those names. But you need to get to know the name Stacia Underwood Gullett too, because she's as good, if not better. I promise you. So we've got all that out of the way, and I'd like to know what you guys thought about the Sinister Six episode that just dropped. Yeah, that was pretty intense. 6 different stories. The Boy in the Box with the Black Dahlia, the Icebox Murders of Texas, the murder of Charles Morgan and Green Eyes, the Halls Hills murder case. That was just downright creepy. Right now, I'd like to bring in my very good friend and the very person I was just talking to you about, who is the founding member and lead investigator of 606 Paranormal. And if she doesn't have answers, she is like a freight train on slick tracks. She will go until she gets the answers. My dear Stacia, hello.
Hello, fam. How are you?
I am doing great. How are you doing?
Good. About to make me cry.
Much for being here.
Keep me so emotional.
Well, I don't want to get you too emotional just yet. We will get into that here in a little bit. But
we've had an emotional day, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. You were actually the one that delivered the message to me this morning about the individual, and I am so grateful that that person was watching. And they need to know that we love them. And you've got our numbers. Anytime you need us, either one of us, we're here. So did you get to listen to the Sinister Six?
Yes.
What'd you think?
It was intense.
It was.
The very least.
I think the thing for me, the most gory story on there was the Black Dahlia.
Yeah.
But the one that had the most intrigue was the Boy in the Box.
I didn't know that somebody had came forth like that and gave that information and said that she was part of it. I had
Mhm.
no idea. That was super interesting. So I'm going to have to definitely look into that now.
Actually said that she helped unload the body that her
Can you
mother had
imagine that?
committed the crime. A little
Yeah,
boy that, her mother had bought as a sex slave.
that was terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, it was actually quite disgusting.
It really
That
was.
that is actually available worldwide right now on the Mountain Mysteries, wherever you may listen to it at, if it's Apple or Spotify or Audible or Amazon, wherever you wanna listen to it. But I'd like to get into something that is, well, it's our next episode that, is coming up. It's episode number 54, I believe it is, Afterlife. You are interviewed prominently in that, and so is another paranormal investigator, John Marshall. We actually talked to several people and asked them what they thought happened after we die. And that's a question that's on everybody's mind at some point or another in their life. I mean, it just, it's one of those things that just, you can't help but be curious.
Right.
You have been investigating the paranormal for a long time. What do you think happens at that moment?
Absolutely. There's an afterlife. Absolutely. I
What do you
believe
think
it
happens at the moment
100%.
of death?
From what that we've actually heard coming through on a lot of our spirit boxes and things, recorders, things along the way, is, there's so many different. I believe there's a heaven and a hell, of course,
Mhm.
but I do believe, it depends on how you live your life, where you're going to go. You're going to be in the light or you're going to be in the dark. And what the spirits tell us is the bad people are always in the dark. They're
And
never,
by the dark, that would be like an absence of the light of God,
right.
wouldn't it?
They're not around anybody else. They're like in their own, I guess, hell, the way they put it. They're always in the dark.
That's something I don't even want to imagine.
No, it's, I mean, we've heard so much, but it always comes back to they're in the dark.
That episode, by the way, tonight too, it should be available anytime, if not already. You can actually hear the interview in its entirety as a companion to what you're going to hear with the episode. It was the interview that I did with you, with Stacia, and that's available now. And I think in some places in video format as well. And if not, we will put that on Patreon for general subscribers and people who aren't a subscriber. You can watch the video in its entirety. Now, our VIP Patreon tier members had that stage the day we got the day that we done that, and that was what, a week ago,
Yep.
something like that, something like
They got
yeah,
it the day after, I think it was.
yeah, or the day after. They got it the day after you and I did it. After I just done some really brief touch ups on it. Um, But that interview was 47 minutes long, I think, and it was intense. Now you're going to hear a good part of it in the episode of the podcast, which drops at 12:01 a.m. tonight. And you know how some of these platforms work. It may take them a few minutes after, even 15 or 20 minutes after, before you
Right.
get it delivered. But you'll have it, for your commute in the morning to work or whatever. But keep in mind that episode is like, I think it's an hour and a half long, an hour and 35 minutes long.
Super
So
interesting.
yeah, it's very interesting, and we talked to a lot of different people, including a nurse who had a lot of experiences with the paranormal,
Ooh.
or with patients dying, and what they were telling her as they actually died. And one of the things that they had in common was when their loved ones,
Came to
they
get
were,
'em.
yes, came to get them, so to
Yeah.
speak. And there's like, and that happened to me. That was a personal experience I had with my mom. I walked in and she waved at me, and I walked over and I thought she was waving at me, and she kept looking at the wall. And I said, Mom, and she said, no, don't you see your grandma and your aunt? Yeah, I kind of knew. I knew right then. Didn't want to face it, didn't want to admit it. So I, put it file 13, back burner kind of thing, and
Right.
thought, she's just,
Maybe it's a dream.
maybe it's a dream. And it was like a day or two later, she passed. They came to get her. And when I found my dad, his arm was outreached towards where my mom used to sit.
I
And
believe she came for him. I believe it.
I do too. I do too. I mean, and July 1st would have made their I think it was 56th wedding anniversary.
Gosh.
They were married for that long, and they had a relationship that most people can only aspire to have in their
Absolutely.
lifetime. And, they have actually came through on the portal, which, yes, for the people that are figuring this out, this is going to be a thing. Stacia is not a guest. She's a co-host. She's going to be on here as much as I am, as much as she can be. Her schedule does keep her busy. I realize that. But great thing about this particular program that we're using now to stream this platform is that even if she's on her cell phone and she can get the time, we can do it there. Because speaking of which, remind me, after we get off the air, I had someone come to me who feels like they're dealing with a haunting.
Okay.
And they would very much like your help.
Okay.
Because they came to me and I said, look, you want me investigating like you want me going in there changing a light switch. Okay, I change out your damn light switch, your plumbing ain't never going to work again. Okay, so I come in there, next thing you know, I got freaking Legion hanging out by the fridge, wanting a grilled cheese and a bowl of potato soup. And I'm sitting there going, dude, I can't even cook. I don't know what the hell you want. But I said, Stacia is who you want. Now, would I accompany? Absolutely. I'd be honored.
Absolutely, you will.
I would be very much honored to, because this lady is a friend. She's a very kind person, a very sweet person.
We're all family here.
But she doesn't think it's anything malevolent. But there was a corner of the basement that she was scared to death of. And there was a gentleman that had resided in the home previously. I'm not really sure that he passed away in the home. I don't think so, but he did reside there for quite some time. He was a very kind man. And she said, I don't get why he's here. And I said, did you ever stop to think that maybe he's there to protect you from whatever it is there, that you get this cold, drabby feeling or very anxious feeling around? I said, let me tell you something. Your gut is going to have more sense than your head's ever going to have.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I said, so you listen to your gut. If something says stay away, stay away. Get some people in there that know what they're doing. And of course, she asked if you had dealt with cases that were of the dark nature. And I said, yeah. She's dealt with cases that weren't, cases that were. I said, she is like on her way to being another Lorraine Warren. I said, she got her own damn haunted bedroom, or haunted, a part of her house. She keeps haunted objects in. How does she keep that under control? A lot of prayers and blessings. And as a matter of fact, you're sitting in that room right now.
Oh, this is where we meet with you every Thursday, right in the haunted office.
And you have them right there behind you.
My babies.
Mm-hmm. And you keep them in line through prayer, is that right?
Absolutely.
Or I mean, you keep
I
the
do,
bad.
and then I also have a priest who I rely on
and does blessings.
Absolutely, I wouldn't have it any other way. You can't be too careful.
No, you can't. And they say, well, the power of the devil is real. It is.
Oh,
so is the power of God.
Yes.
So is
we got a new baby, and I want to show you how sweet.
Please. This is interesting because if you look behind in the video frame right now, we see 4 dolls there, and each one of them have a story, and each one of them have a haunting attached to them. So tell me about the one you're holding now, Stace.
This is our new baby that we have here at the haunted office with us. And we just, I really don't think he's really done anything too bad. It was just a feeling that they had. So they asked us to come pick him up.
Does anybody else out here watching this right now get the feeling that doll is alive? That there's something going on there? I mean, it is. Yeah, I just get that. Maybe it's that empath thing you say I've got going on.
Exactly. You definitely have that going on. But yeah, this is our newest little boy. Or so they called him, the boy.
The boy.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that his name?
So we may have to change that because that sounds a little
It sounds like a new Lionsgate film getting ready to come out in October.
It really does.
The Boy.
It really does.
In theaters October 15th. Yeah.
As innocent as he looks and everything. I mean.
Yeah, it's just it is absolutely incredible. And that right there is kind of an answer to the very thing that we're talking about tonight, about the afterlife. My statement has never been, that I wanted to convince anybody of anything. Just bring forth what we know and let you describe or let you decide for yourself. And I think that that's what this episode very much will do. It's entitled Afterlife, and it's going to be available worldwide. Patreon members had it last Saturday. So, we're trying to get up into the thing where we are working ahead and delivering quality content, because the further I can work ahead, the more time I can spend on the script.
Right.
And speaking of which, if you'll look in your ticker down there on the bottom of the screen, production on episode 55, entitled 44 Days in Hell, begins tomorrow. We've got all the post-production done for this. This episode is going to do one of two things. It is either going to make you sick to your stomach to the point that you're throwing up. I've done that, writing it. Or it is going to make you bawl like a baby. Done that too. It is, and I just want to make sure that I pay her the proper respect. It's the story of Junko Furuta. She was a beautiful Japanese teenage girl in 1988 when she was abducted, held against her will, and for 44 days tortured in ways and raped in ways over 400 or 500 times in ways that you cannot possibly imagine, until her body finally gave out.
Gosh.
What you are going to hear, if it doesn't enrage you, you really need to be wondered or worried about whether or not you have any emotions whatsoever. And it is written in such a way that I wanted to do her some kind of justice. So I break it down, what happened day by day. It's something that some people have known about for a while, but could I do an episode on Amityville? Yeah, but it's been done so many times. I don't know that I could bring anything to the table that's new. Could I do an episode on Waverly Hills? Yes, by popular demand, we are actually going to look at doing one. But if I can't bring in anything new to that table, new to be thought about, maybe the one thing I can bring is when you go, if you're going to get into paranormal investigations, and we speak to John Marshall about this in this episode as well. He is the host of Beyond the Paranormal podcast, and John is an experienced investigator, and he's very adamant. Don't walk into somebody's house, start calling them names and trying to get a reaction, because you'll get a reaction, but the reaction you get may not be the one you're hoping for. I mean, how would you feel if I walked into your home and started calling you names, trying to get a rise out of you?
Right.
Spirits.
Super disrespectful.
Yes, spirits are no different than us, minus the fact that they don't have this physical form. They are spiritual. They are spirits.
You got your soul.
Yes, thank you. They are souls. Treat them as though they are people, as though they are human beings, because they were, and they still are, in my opinion. Yeah. I would never say that April Pennington is not. As a matter of fact, I say that April is still very much with us. I can feel her right now. I would say that Dwayne Lovelace is very much with us. I would not disrespect him. I would not disrespect her. You don't disrespect those who have passed on.
No, they're our family.
Yes. And it's like I've said so many times, and I'm assuming that you probably feel the same way with this. Every time I drive by a cemetery, I don't see the headstones. I see the stories, or I wonder about the stories of the people who are laid to rest.
Absolutely.
Because each one of them has a story. That dash in the middle of the date born and the date that they passed away, that dash, for such a little dash, there's so much meaning there.
Yep, exactly.
So do I believe in the afterlife? Absolutely. I believe in the afterlife. Also, thank you to everybody. We are getting massive hits now in 38 countries around the world, including a place I've always wanted to visit, Australia. And an episode coming not tonight, not this Friday, but next Friday, is based out of Australia, I believe it is. And that is going to be Till Death Do Us Part. The mountain mystery of Catherine Mary Knight, who literally killed her husband, beheaded him, cooked him up in a stew, and tried to serve him to his kids. Yeah.
We saw the stew.
Yeah. Well, she threw a plate of it in the backyard of the dog, and the dog wouldn't eat it. So
we wish we hadn't saw that picture, but
yeah. You know what they say, we live and we learn. So it's one of those things that just absolutely. But yeah, it says it all: Malaysia, Singapore, Italy, Belgium, Honduras, Slovakia, France, Netherlands, Greece, Austria, Denmark. Stace, when we started this, the Mountain Mysteries, it was with the full blessings of Sharon, because it was her daughter April that got this thing launched, because
Yep.
I just had that itch, that burn to say she is not going to be forgotten.
And you
And
know
then
I've
it
been
grew.
right there by her side from the start.
Yes, you have. And here we are. This thing has grown. Now, granted, I took a break because I had to.
It's no
Ollie,
wonder.
then
So
Trev,
much.
Ollie, and then Trev. And I'll be honest, for a while, I didn't know if we was going to come back. And then it just hit me one day, and it was like Trevor Huff's voice out of the blue saying, "You need to do this." And Ollie saying, "You need to do this." My dad saying, "Son, get up off your ass and go do something. Do what you were meant to do. You're meant to flap your jaws and using gums. Go do it." That's how my dad was. And my mom, like I always said, my mom, she babied me. I could have went up the road and killed 32 people, and she said, "Oh, he just had a bad day." I mean, like, Mom, really? But
Yep.
I had that kind of relationship with her. I had great parents. But
Yes.
coming back to this is also very much in honor of them too. So, and we can't wait for that. But this is absolutely one of the things that I don't look at this as work. I look at this as an honor.
Yes, me too.
And something funny happened this evening when I was looking, because that little thing that you see at the bottom of your screen right down there, that's all backed up and it's scrolling by right now. Ireland, Japan.
It's awesome.
Now listen to this. We didn't have anybody in Japan before I made it public that episode 55 about Junko was coming.
Ah,
They're listening. And sometimes I look up at the numbers and I get a little discouraged because we may see a kind of low amount of numbers. But what happened this morning with the information I got showed me that what I said before is God's truth. If you change one person's life, then you've changed the world. And we did.
absolutely.
And I told you I've got a very dear friend of mine. He's like a brother to me. I love this guy. He's a police officer. And he would be on duty. 10-8 is the signal code for it. 10-8. He's 10-8.
Yep.
He's at work. And he sends me these pictures. He's in his cruiser and he's listening to the Mountain Mysteries. And he says, "Bro, he said, you get me through this day." Right there. Yeah. So to say that I am honored with that is, it's an understatement. Tell you what, we're going to step out for a few seconds and to give a great big thank you to Little Divas and talk about them briefly when we come back. And then, Stacia, with your okay, we are going to break open the box.
We're ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, the portal is on its way when we come back on the Mountain Mysteries. For over 11 years, Little Diva's balloon decorating has turned events into experiences, and celebrations have been turned into parties. Let Little Divas worry about making your event the best that it can be while you relax and enjoy it. Any event you can imagine: birthdays, anniversaries, weddings, family reunions, graduations, celebrations of life. Any event that you can possibly imagine, Little Divas can bring it to life. They specialize in balloon sculptures, cake table archways, and doorway arches. Get a hold of Little Divas right now and make your celebration, reunion, or business function one that people will never forget. Call 606-791-5616. That's 606-791-5616. Or visit them on Facebook.com/Little Diva Party Decorations and see for yourself. Of course, delivery is always available for a slight additional charge. Little Divas, it's where memories begin. I got to admit, and I know the owner of Little Divas, and the work she does, and you saw some of it in that commercial right there. It's incredible.
Yep, it is.
This person literally, she did the decorations for April's celebration of life. And she just brought it to life, and she helped create an experience, and that's what Little Divas is about. It's about taking a birthday party, making it a birthday experience. It's about taking a graduation celebration, making that celebration an experience. It's about seeing the smiles come up on somebody's faces, even when they're in grief. Yeah, I watched her do this at April's celebration of life. April had been gone 30 years. She comes in, Little Divas comes in, and they do this in this ornate decoration, or decorations, I should say. And people talked about it, Stace. You were there. People talked
Yeah.
about it for several minutes. Like, did you do this? And they're looking at me, and I'm like, no.
They look beautiful.
Yes, absolutely. So give them a call at 791-5616. Get them on Facebook, or you can email them too. And of course, the link, they're also, when you are a partner with the Mountain Mysteries, like Little Divas, you don't only get the podcast episodes, you get the gatherings, and you get the links in the podcast episodes. Folks, these go worldwide. And let me tell you, Little Divas can create things and ship them, so they can go all over. Well, the bell means it's time to break open the box. So now let me give our usual disclaimer that what we are about to do is strictly for entertainment purposes only. But I can tell you that by the very definition of science, you won't hear anything that makes any remote kind of sense unless somebody is coming through.
Right.
Stacia, you are the expert on this. For people that are just now watching or listening for the first time, could you please explain the portal, what it is, and how it works?
Sure, it's an ITC device, and what that does is it feeds in gibberish, no words at all. They're just bits and pieces of gibberish. It's all fed into the noise bank. Whenever we ask it a question, and what I do is just turn it on and let it go. And if you hear definite words coming through, then you've got your answers.
Okay.
Sometimes you hear
So if
voices.
somebody is listening in the chat room right now, which I'm going over to the chat. I don't get a lot of time in there. Little Divas is actually in the chat room right now, and we thank them and say hi. Say hi to Anita. Hi to Tanya. Hi to Ben, Steph, Maddie. Hi to everybody. Seth Ambergy, who actually hosts Seth's daily podcast. Jessica.
Hey, Seth.
Jessica Preston is in the chat room. Jess, hope you're doing great. Seth, hope that you're doing well too. So could somebody come through in the chat room and pose a question to either you or I? Could we ask that question, and would that work?
Absolutely.
Okay. So without any further delays, I should say, I guess, if it's okay, let's go ahead and fire it up.
Let's fire it up.
Okay.
Okay, so prior to this, you know that we've had prayer, and we always come through with love and light.
Yes,
And
we never
that's all
disrespect.
that we have here, right?
And we ask for God's prayers and blessings and to protect us all.
Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn it on, and then if anybody has any questions, we can ask it, or I'm just going to start asking if there's anything that anybody wants to come through and talk about or say to anybody here.
Sure.
Okay, we're going to turn this on, and we're going to ask if anybody wants to come through. You want to turn that one on first? To come on through and talk to us while we're here. Make sure the volume's not up too loud, too.
Okay.
What's your name? Sound like a friend of something. Do you have a message for somebody? Almost like I said, Seth. Can you please tell me again what you wanted to ask? Sounds very elderly to me.
She does sound like an older person.
It really, yeah.
It does sound like a lady, a female.
Yes. Do you have a message for somebody that's in the chat room? That sounded like a full sentence.
Could you make out what it was?
No.
Can you come back and tell me that again? Do you have a name from somebody? Is there somebody here that you want to contact? We can hear you loud and clear. So I swear it sounds like somebody's grandmother or something. Okay, I'm going to go back in here and try this again. Okay, I'm going to turn this back on and off, and I'm going to ask if anybody wants to come through and talk to us. We're going to open this up and just let it go.
Did it sound like let my son know?
Yeah, I mean, I heard. Nurse. Is there a nurse that you're trying to reach? Something about my life if I've helped somebody. What's your name?
We have somebody in the chat room that just said that was their grandma.
It sounded like it's a nurse again, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
What came through in the chat room?
Jessica said that sounds like her grandma.
Oh, okay.
Sounded like her. Or she actually, her words were, "That's my grandma."
Oh, goodness. She sounded awful sweet. Loud and clear. Okay, does anybody else want to talk? Can you tell us a name? Is there a name of someone that you want to contact? Who was it that said it was Jessica? Jessica, do you have a question that you want me to ask just in case? Do you have any kind of a message for Jessica? Can you give us your first name? My uncle has been sick.
Wonder if there's anybody out there that would know what that's about.
I don't know. We'll keep shuffling through until we get something.
Is that who I think it is?
We're listening.
She sounds very familiar.
What's your name? Do you have a message for somebody? If we reached your mama, do you have a message for her?
Stacia, I have an idea.
Hannah? Okay, go ahead.
The next time that you and I see each other, bring that. Let's use it in this studio, and I'll reverse the audio.
It said Hannah a couple of times now, too.
Hannah.
Okay.
Is that not the same little girl that came through last week?
It sounds like it.
It sounds so much like her. I mean, I could be wrong, but...
Sounds like about a dog again. Is your name Hannah? Or do you have a nickname? Yeah. Do you have a message for anybody else? Animals.
Animals?
She's with the animals.
Oh,
and I'll be good. Bunny. Are you with a bunny? Be with me tonight or something. Something in my heart. How precious are you? I'm telling you, she's taken over.
She is the queen and rules the kingdom.
Yep. Have you got a message for, is it Bobby? Yeah. Do you have a message for Bobby? Hers crying or something? Kisses for me? Okay. I love. I heard that playing today. Tell her. What do you want to tell her? I love you. Did you hear that? It's playing today.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
I love it. Be nice. Do you have anything else you want to tell anybody, or just want me to just let you talk? Love you. How sweet is that? She's in love and light. Yeah, we heard her say animals too. She said bunny too. Are you around the animals? Are you looking over them? Can you tell us about where you're at? Is there anybody else that wants to talk? I don't want to mute her.
No.
Are you there? Dog. Everything is on here is about a dog. I love my dog. Okay, I'll tell her. Can you tell us what your name is? Bunny again.
She has a thing for animals, doesn't she?
That's my name. Hearts. We've got a chatterbox.
She does like to speak, yes, which is perfectly fine.
Well, we want to send a lot of love to you, okay? And you take care of those bunnies and the animals too. That was as clear. Did you hear that one? I'll take care of the animals. Yeah, we'll have to leave you. I'm sorry.
I had a good question in the chat room. Is she at the Rainbow Bridge?
Yes, ma'am. Are you at the Rainbow Bridge around the animals?
Something I find intriguing is the fact that she knew that the individual who asked that question was, in fact, a lady. I didn't say he or she said. I just said in the chat room a question was asked if she's at the Rainbow Bridge, and she said, yes, ma'am. And it was, in fact, a lady that asked that question.
I mean, we just turn it on, let it go. And then right now I've got it on mute.
What you get is what you get. And sometimes you don't get anything, and sometimes you get so much, it's like a mind expansion headache.
Isn't it?
You can't take it all in.
It kind of sometimes brings tears.
It does. It does. Back in the chat, we had Jessica that said that it was, or Lee Edith is her grandma's name, and she said, yes,
We'll
her
listen
uncle
to
has
that.
been sick. Yeah, Lloyd showed you that. Okay.
I will make a note of that name also, and anytime I get something like that, I will let you know.
Okay. Well, it's not, I mean, it would be kind of odd if April didn't come through tonight. So,
Yeah, she usually will with this little chatterbox queen. I don't know.
yeah, it's like April's watching over. But April was very much drawn to children, kids.
Yes.
And April was drawn to people, but I can definitely see her watching out for a child.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely, 100%.
Yeah.
That was April through and through.
Yes. She took care of the handicap too.
Yes, people with special needs. She did take care of the handicapped individuals who had disabilities of some sort or another.
Yep.
She was very much a positive influence in their life.
Yep,
she was.
She did.
So right now we open it up to the chat room and ask if anybody would want to ask anything. Between Lloyd and I mean, I'm trying to keep an eye on the chat amongst other things, but Lloyd is really your chat master. So
yeah, he's over trying to show me stuff, and I can't see because I'm trying to.
In a minute, she's going to turn and say, "Good Lord, man, give me a moment. Give me."
He loves it. He loves it.
Lloyd's great, and he's always a big help. He's a big help with 606 Paranormal. He's a big help with just people. So, and I'm very blessed that he's here to help us. So,
Thanks.
Oh, you're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
So, if there is anybody in the chat room that would like to ask any questions, I'll tell you what, I'll throw one out here.
Okay.
Somebody I could never hear enough from. My mom or my dad.
Oh, yeah.
Or
turn it on.
Or Trevor.
Okay. Is there anybody who wants to make a connection tonight? With Chris. I'm going to ask you to come through and talk to us if you would like to make a connection with him. Because we've got some strong connections going tonight. My son, something. Do you have a name? I'm just going to let you talk. Sounds very light, breathy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it's sad. Can you tell me what your name is? I'm going to ask if anybody else wants to come through and talk to us. Let me turn this up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a message for Chris or anybody that's in the chat room with us tonight? It looks like something riding. Are you riding? What's your name? Do you have a message for anybody else?
That one's starting to come through a lot too. Okay, start it back up. What's your name? Do you have a message for anybody? They're almost.
They're almost.
Are you surrounded by darkness? Do you have a message for someone?
That sounded like he was trying to say something about Chris.
I'm fine.
Wow.
Love you. Does that sound like anybody?
The tone of the voice sounds.
Can you give us a name? I was. And something my name. Something I leave and I'm leaving or something. Do you have any messages for anybody else?
Good morning.
Ride my bike or something. Did you hear that? Are you going to ride your bike? Can you give me a name? My name. Do you have any family that you want to give a message to? My only something. Did you hear that too?
Yes, I did. I thought he said yes, my only something.
I was going to, if anybody else hears anything, to give us some.
Yes, Jessica in the chat said that she thinks that she heard "I may soon."
I didn't know if it was son or soon. I wasn't really sure.
Okay.
Yeah, we're open to any comments.
Definitely. Anybody hears anything else, let me know. I could be listening to something, and then somebody else
At
could.
first, I thought it might have been Trev, but
Did you hear baby puppy?
Well,
That
that
puppy,
little
I'll
girl
tell you.
brings a smile to my face. I love her. I love you, sweetheart.
Did you hear that? Do you know that we're just loving you? Yeah, buddy. What's your name? Beautiful something. We're just going to call you beautiful.
Yep.
Beautiful. Woman with hearts.
Woman with hearts. Woman with hearts. Look in the chat room.
Oh. Let me see the chat room. Oh, God love. God bless me. Now, how can I mute that? I'm going to be sitting here tonight at midnight.
No.
Listening to her.
No.
Yeah.
No, there's no way you can mute that. No. It's
You want to say anything to Chris? Animals.
She's a very strong presence.
Huff is with me.
She said Huff is with her.
Yeah.
You know what Trevor's last name was?
yes.
Oh, goodness. You've been a blessing tonight, little girl.
Wow.
So many loves. Birds, too. Sound like you said he's sitting. Do you have somebody with you that takes care of you, too? I love. Oh, Bobby, I hope so. I love you. That was so plain. I love you all. Ernestine wants to know, who do you love? Love you. She loves you, Ernestine. You don't have to hush. She said, I'll hush. Do you have a message for anybody else? Wishing Huff. Is there somebody with you? Can you tell me what their name is?
Such a strong presence.
She's very strong.
She's taken to take over everybody's channel. She just like,
She's very strong.
I know about them. I love that dog. Does anybody have a message for Chris that's with you? I do.
Her sisters never shut up for her mom.
Oh, okay. Did you have sisters? Animals. She with the animals.
She loves animals.
Did you hear that again? Fishies. Huh? Did you hear that? Huff. Is somebody with you? He loves you. And God bless him. Are there rainbows where you're at? Yeah. Definitely. Did you hear that again?
Yeah.
I'm with the animals.
She is very strong.
Can you tell me if you're from here? Mommy something. And you've seen him. We can't be in a hurry.
Well, I guess she told me.
I'm going to turn her down for a minute. Well, I guess I won't.
No, she apparently has more to say. So, and that's okay.
Still going.
Yeah.
Wow.
You never know what, if anything, or rather I should say who, if anything, or anyone that you'll get. But I did hear certain things clearly.
I can't read what you're writing. Is that what you heard?
No, I was just asking about the.
Well, yeah. I think Lloyd heard a few things you did too. Do you have a message for anybody before we close?
Like, here, read this.
I can't see it. What's it say? Yeah, Ernestine, I've been doing this for over 25 years, and I've gotten some really, really rude, mean things said from things that aren't so good. That's why when I get something like this, it's really a
Well,
blessing.
enlighten me on the conversation because I'm missing some.
She asks, Ernestine asked, pull it back up here. She says, "Do you ever get mean ones that are upset because they don't know where they are?" Or
Oh hell, I've been threatened
where
to be
they're
killed.
at?
Yeah, Yeah, I had one time at an apartment complex near Williams in West Virginia said, that's her dad, kill her. Or kill
Oh
him.
gosh.
That's her dad, kill him. Yeah. And of course, they called me a few things, and including they questioned the validity of my parents' marriage at the time of my conception. So they called me that and a few other things too. So it's,
Yeah,
I've heard some of
I've
that
had
stuff.
quite a few of the same
Yeah.
remarks.
Mhm. Yeah. I think it stands to reason that if you are in life, so you shall be in the afterlife.
Exactly.
How you are here is how you are there.
Yeah.
So, which means that I'd be zip zapping all over the world as a spirit saying, you ain't got the brains God gave a donut, have you? So it's, that would,
I'll be over at the Rainbow Bridge. Just find me over
yeah,
there. That's all
you'll
I
be
am.
over there with her playing with the
Yeah.
animals. Yeah.
Yeah.
Playing with the
I'll be
animals.
finding the baby.
Yeah. So I done. But yeah. To say that I think that tonight again was a success. Yeah, very much so. This really goes in depth even more to show that there is something that this life isn't it. We go on. We go on after this.
Yeah.
May not be in this form. Now, of course, there are some practices that believe in reincarnation, particularly Hindu. There are some religions that believe in purgatory, particularly Catholicism. And I'm not here to dispute anyone's beliefs or to say one thing or another about that. I do have my set of beliefs. And I do believe, though, that life does go on after this. Do I think that it's St. Peter waiting at the at pearly gates and all that? I'm not necessarily so sure it's like that, but I do know that there's something, and I guess that is why God asks us to have faith,
That's right.
to believe. Now you can have all the faith you want to, but until you step out on it, yeah, it's like having a road that you never travel.
Yep.
It's something for us to think about. Stacia, my dear, I cannot thank you enough for you, and thank you to Lloyd
No
for being
problem.
on with us tonight. And you
We
as a
love being here.
co-host is a blessing. These things are so much better with you. They are.
Well, I'm happy to be here, and I love spending time with you.
I do you too, and I do Lloyd too, even if he is a sexy man beast. So it is. Lloyd's like, really? There it is. Thank you very much, my brother.
We're behind the scenes over here with his
Yes.
notepad, and
Well, yeah, he's got his notepad
you see
going
all the
on.
work.
Yeah, he's got his equipment turned on. I mean, he's a big help.
He's on the spot.
Well, I mean, on one of the investigations I went on with you, I saw how crucial he is. He's very, he does a
I
lot.
trained him well on that.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. After I get offline and we stop the broadcast, I'd like for you to stay on here so I can talk to you
Sure.
about what we had discussed a few moments ago about that.
Sure. I'll be
To
right
the
here.
people and the spirit that came through and the spirits that came through tonight, it is my utmost hope that you have found peace, love, light. And I thank you so much for coming through. And to that little girl, you need to know I love you. You are just absolutely.
Believe it.
Believe it. Yeah, I do, sweetheart. I believe it at the very core of who I am.
She's still going on. I mean, it's just.
Yeah. Let her talk. I'll be back with you in just a few
All right,
seconds.
we'll do it.
All right. Thanks, Stace.
All right, honey.
So is the afterlife real? Only you can decide that. I mean, only you can make up your opinion and your judgment about that. For me, yeah. I think there's more to things than meets the eye in this world. I certainly do. But there's no sense in rushing it. It'll come all too quickly. Remember, if you start to feel like it's not worth it, it is worth it. God's got you here for a reason. And whatever that reason may be, I can't tell you. That's up for you to discover, and that's up for him to know. But I can tell you that it is worth discovering. Because when you find your purpose, when you find the reason that you're supposed to be here, be it to help others or be it to I suppose it has to be to help others. If not, then why are we all here? There's living hells that people go through that I couldn't imagine. But reach out to somebody if you need it. You wonder that you're not good enough, you're more than good enough. You set the bar for what good enough is. Sorry I was away for so long. But we're back. And I hope you'll tell your friends about us, because sometimes one set of words can change somebody's day completely. I honestly believe that with everything in me. And I'd like to think that that will never change. Whether I'm here or not, always carry that belief. I love you all. And thank you so much for inviting us into your homes or wherever you may be this evening. Next Thursday at 9 o'clock, we'll be back with the Mountain Mysteries Gatherings. And don't forget, new episode drops tonight. And for Patreon folks, they'll have a brand new episode coming Saturday. So that's going to be something good too. Until then, on behalf of Little Divas, on behalf of Stacy and Lloyd, I'm Chris Sloan for the Mountain Mysteries and the Mountain Mysteries Gatherings. Stay mysterious.